If you're planning to renovate a buy-to-let, even if you're doing loads of the work yourself, you'll probably budget for the big stuff. Kitchens, bathrooms, new flooring. But what catches most people out, especially on their first project, are the hidden costs. The things you don't even spot during viewings. Things no one mentions in the renovation time-lapse videos, and they can quietly add thousands of pounds to your refurb if you're not ready for them. This video will help you make a clearer plan to avoid those nasty surprises. I'll walk you through the biggest hidden costs to look out for, using one of my own recent projects as an example. I'll show you how those costs crept in, how I handled them, and what you can do to protect yourself. Let's get into it. You've probably already priced up the new kitchen, the new bathroom, the new flooring, but what about waste disposal? My latest refurb needed a massive skip which cost £384 by itself. I barely got away with just the one skip, and I needed to play some real life Tetris to get all the stuff in it. And no, the local tip probably won't help. Councils generally limit how much waste bags you can throw away. You can only say you're tearing your shed down so many times before they get suspicious, and especially if it looks like trade or renovation waste. And definitely watch out for anything that could potentially be asbestos. You'll need to pay extra for certified waste disposal trays to get rid of that. Also, budget for consumables: screws, filler, cork, masking tape, sanding pads, bin bags, silicone. I just spent over £200 for my latest property on what felt like nothing. Just the stuff you pick up while queuing at the counter for screw fix. And finally, remember the cost of modern safety compliance. If you're needing to renovate, it's probably not a new build property, so then it's likely that you'll need to upgrade a few bits to meet current rental regulations. So stuff like smoke or heat alarms in key rooms, carbon monoxide alarm near the boiler, extractor fans. These aren't optional, and they can be pricey if you're not prepared. Now, none of the examples I've just talked about sound huge on their own, but they really do add up quickly. But let's talk about the bigger costs that creep in even when you think you've planned ahead. These usually come from the work that you need professional trades for, like electricals, rewiring, consumer units, certifications, that kind of thing. Even though my latest refurb was built in the 90s, so not that long ago, I still needed a new consumer unit and a few other updates that cost over £800. Also, plumbing and heating. Simple plumbing's okay because the worst that can happen is you create a little leak, but a new boiler install can easily cost you over £3,000. And bear in mind the painting and finishing work too. I brought in someone to help me out towards the end of my latest renovation. I'd already started painting it myself, but with time running out, paid £500 for a few days of extra support. And that was quite a cheap price, but it was still not in my original budget estimate. Now, on the note of DIY, maybe you're thinking, I'll save money by doing most of it myself. Same here, I think that all the time, but be aware that DIY does come with its own costs. The first being time, which is maybe the biggest cost of all. If you're working around a full-time job or a family like I do, the whole thing takes much longer. So that means extra holding costs like utilities and council tax, and then you've got potential lost rent. And potential lost rent is real money that's not going into your pocket. Also, decisions that backfire. Recently, I tried to reuse the existing internal doors for the property I was refurbishing, which is a silly decision really because they fell apart when I upgraded the hardware. So I ended up having to buy and fit brand new ones instead, and then oil them too because I went for oak veneer. But the new ones do look lovely, but maybe I'm just justifying that to myself. And then finally, tools you'll need. This year I've bought screeding tools, a new electric saw, plug cutters, spanners, and that's with a full tool collection already. I don't know how I don't have all the tools yet. But the good news is that once you own the tools, you can reuse them. But the bad news? On that first refurb where you don't have many tools, you'll definitely feel the upfront pain. Make sure to pick a good brand of tools to stay with. I somewhat obviously go with Makita, and it's like when you picked your first Pokemon. I was a Charmander guy, Charmander for life. So here's a final takeaway for this video. First is accurately estimate the big expensive jobs with quotes, like a kitchen, bathroom, heatings and electrics. Second is add a buffer, which is at least 10%. Third is buy decent tools that you'll reuse. The cost spreads out over time, you can maybe do a reclaim on that, and go for Makita. And now I'm definitely going to get hate from the Ryobi and DeWalt people. Don't worry, they're good tools too. Fourth, budget for some labour. You'll probably have to bring in a trade at some point, even if it's just for certification. So if you're planning your own refurb, don't go in blind. To help you out, I made a free property viewing checklist PDF to spot issues before you buy, and my property renovation spreadsheet to keep on top of costs once you get started. Both are free on my website, I'll put a link down below. Could save you a headache. But if you want to see how all of this played out for me in one of my real life deals, I made a full video walking through the actual numbers, including all the potential costs and profit. Click over here somewhere for that. And please like and subscribe if you found this helpful. Catch you in the next one.